I reckon we're just about ready for this again. Couldn't see anything else in there, but I mean, I guess we'll find out pretty quick if I miss something.
Very important first step when dealing with exhaust bolts that are known for being rusty. Spray them with a bit of penetrant, get a bit of in there, and hopefully it lets it come off a bit. Admittedly, I forgot to start off with. I started taking one off and it started going righty-tighty, which is what we want to avoid. Luckily, the penetrant helped it, but got them all off. These other two I could get with the rattle gun, so I was chuffed with that. Got them off pretty quick and out the way. Now I can see the flange is just sitting on there, so I decided, I thought I'd gotten all the bolts off, try and jack it up anyway, let it come out, but then the exhaust is still coming with the engine, so had another look and there was a bracket that was holding onto the engine, so as soon as I got that off, undid that bolt, straight out. Alright, time to jack her up, there's nothing else holding it on, let's get it out. Sick of looking at it. Surprisingly, it was actually difficult to roll this thing.
Come over this way! I'm going to hold out hope that the loom will work. Having a look. Looks like they merge into the one going through the firewall. Even if they converge into two coming out. Ooh. Yeah, nice. I didn't notice that before, but that's okay. Don't care. Yeah. And here comes the fun part. Oh my god. What a mess. The next mission is trying to get out the loom and computer. So we've got to take some of the interior off and have a look, see what we can find and how we can get it out. There's the computer. Up there. Computer. Can't see the loom coming off it. I'm faced with the same drama as before. The heater core is blurry screen. The heater core is behind there, and that's exactly where the loom goes out. So it's stuck in behind there anyway. So one way or another, this dash has to come out again.
It's a very fun and fiddly job, this one. So the dash is actually in a couple of pieces, which is somewhat good for me. I can sort of go section by section. Undo a couple of screws I can see, but I can't get this top bit out without taking off the trims around the steering column. So there's a couple of screws underneath, and then it just all pops off, goes outside. Then I decided to take the steering wheel off. So there's a couple of screws in behind that holds the horn assembly in. One on the left, one on the right, one on the bottom. Got to undo all the screws, and then you can get off the horn. I thought I'd have to take the steering wheel off. It ended up being that I didn't, so that was sort of a waste of time anyway. It sort of just vibed there, but that's alright.
Oh, whole dash is coming in. Well, there it goes. Nice. You know what? Fuck it.
This bit here is a much fun section. This is where all the plugs for all the climate controls and lights and stuff like that are on that section of dash are, so you've got to unplug all of that. It's also got all the typically cable, but in this case the vacuum lines for all the climate controls in there, which makes it hard to get out, so I end up going to get the snips and the side cutters and I just cut the dogs off. Because I'm not using them again, I don't care.
Nice. Right, this side. Nice. There we go. All in one piece. How about that? Sick, yeah. At least it's easy to get the dash out, the cluster out.
Now typically what I've seen from these is a couple of screws top and bottom and the whole thing just comes off. So I start undoing the screws that I think it is and start to lift off, and
I'm unbolting the screen.
I start taking the protective cover off instead. So I put that back on because ideally you want it to come out in one piece. Put them screws back in. Find some more screws on the side, so I unscrew them, and then, even better,
Yeah, cover. I feel like that wasn't quite supposed to happen, but oh well.
So as I was working, I was trying to come up with a plan for how I'd make the 1.8 computer work with the Excel. So I was getting the cluster off and I noticed that the plugs on the back of it were very different.
Righto. So, learned that I've got to keep the body loom inside the Excel. Can't swap that over.
In my brain I was thinking about using the both body loom and engine loom from the 1.8 computer and just trying to make it work with the 1.5 dash, but this concreted that wouldn't happen.
Also learned this is now a 3 million piece dash.
Now we must continue on trying to carefully pull this dash out.
3 million and 3. Five. 6. Damn near done, need to undo any bolts. I don't really need to go much further there. I've got a bad idea. It's not my way. Cross this a little bit. So you can see what I'm doing. There we go. That's being difficult. Oh well. Shipping. You know what? Because we clearly don't care about this dash, I've just realised I've been talking rubbish and actually starting to enjoy myself for the last half an hour, and this hasn't been recording. Where I got up to is everything's out. I stopped caring and my hammer got involved, and now we have some pieces and the poor man's sports exhaust. How about that? But now we're here. Deciding what to do next. Because I've got to get that middle bit out the way and all of that. I think I'll use the hammer on that. I will. I'll use the hammer. Oh yeah. That's all right. Good stuff. Right. Where's the rubber gun?
Yeah, I've done as much as I can do with the hammer for the moment. So, more bolts and screws and stuff that we have to take out. Just keep going piece by piece and undoing it. Like it's a Lego Formula 1 car. And just keep going one piece at a time. Next on my list is there's a cradle in the middle that holds all the stereo and climate control stuff. Try and get that out because that's right in front of the heater core.
Ow! Stabbed myself in the snips. How the hell? There's no 10mm under. Is that welded on? Damn it. That'll do. No, that's not gonna work. Oh, not rough. It's just a collateral damage. Why you gotta be so crap? Ah! I hurt myself. Right, now that I've got to the bolt, so hopefully, yes, that cradle's now loose, but won't come out because of that's plugged into it, like that thing that I was just around with. So I've discovered that even though I have presented this cage with a sock, it cannot be freed. So now we move on to the next quest. At least I can get far enough out of the way to then move that. So should be right. Righto, more bolts. Oh no. Oh Lord, please help me no. The other bolt is way down there that I can't access because I haven't pulled all the right shit out. Oh, good news. I'm just gonna bend that out of the way. Bolt. Ah, really wish this cage would be free. Yes. Ow! It's what happens when you cut things instead of safely removing them. They go through your finger. Now if this is anything like an Excel, that middle one's got to come out first. Then I can pull that out. I can just vibe, I don't give a right.
What we're looking at there are the main three cores for the aircon systems. So in the middle we've got the aircon evaporator core, on the right we have the heater core, on the left we have the blower motor. So the blower motor's not that important, that's not holding anything in. But the middle one, the evaporator core, is holding the heater core in, which I want to get out.
Ooh. Anyway. Need a screwdriver. Or a pair of snips, that works too. Okay, basically doing that. I've got to put the phone down there. There we go. Good stuff. Will it come? Of course not, because the aircon is still attached. Whereas the other ones I've touched, it wasn't. So how do I go about that? That's a conundrum. That is a proper conundrum, that is. Fucking.
Quick explanation on that one there. The aircon lines that go through the firewall, like around the back of the engine bay and then through the firewall, go through and bolt onto that evaporator core. Because I left all the aircon lines in there and everything attached, I can't pull that out.
But there's something else holding it on down there. It's also tyres. Oh, well, would you look at that? That's what's holding it on. God damn it. A screw? A screw? What the hell? Realised too late that I wasn't filming where I was watching the screw remover. Oh, that's better. Maybe not. Yeah, it's not really helping that much, eh? Still f***ing stuck. Oh, what a bee's dick away. Oh, yes. This is what we want.
Next step, unplug the computer.
Right, that's free.
And then in my head I start mentally comparing it to the Excel ones and seeing how different they are.
Oh, it's completely different.
Especially the relay, which I've got to take off now anyway.
So, that and that are now free. And they're the only things on that loom to go through, and they're different plugs. That's a problem. That's a major problem. So basically what that means, I can get the car running just with that loom. I can probably make the car run, but it means that I won't have any indicators, tail lights, brake lights, because those two plugs make the Excel interact with the rest of the body. And I'm not quite sure where to go from here.